Good morning, everyone. This is Grakef. You're watching this. You probably saw my other episode from my FTB Reborn, as well as the subscriber episode. Again, I just want to say thank you. This is super awesome for me that we're able to do this. So we're in Enigmatica today. I got a couple ideas for some builds we're going to work on. So without any further ado, let's get started. So a big thing we haven't really done much. Oh, it's raining. It's raining. Joys of multiplayer servers. There we go. Light. Is we never really got more into bees. Right? We built an apiary, and that was basically it. So I want to get into that today, as well as rain a little bit and get into forestry trees. So we're gonna do some tree stuff. So as well as I'd like to get a little bit more automated greenhouse going. So we need to pick a spot here. Kind of looking for. Hey, this isn't too bad over here. Rid of this tree here. Thinking right here in the factory. Got all this dirt and stuff that's here from earlier. First cleared off that pad. Okay. Yeah. So what I want to do is, there is a gentleman in the state of Nebraska, United States. So he builds greenhouses, and he kind of builds them into the earth and allows the greenhouse to use the earth as kind of a big solar battery. So yeah, right, really well. We're gonna do that today. We're gonna grab some glass and maybe some wood. We're just gonna build right here into the side of this cliff here, and we'll have ourselves a greenhouse. Back it a little bit as I clear it out here and build up a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to dress this up a little bit, make it look less like a giant retaining wall. Make this portion look better here. And then this will all grow in and it'll look a lot better with the grass on it. But there we go. Now that gives it kind of a feel right there. And fill this side in here. There we go. Like that a little better. This side's a little bit stronger, but like I say, we're gonna have a maybe some wood to hold that back with a little bit of retaining wall. We'll probably even come over here and extend. Oh, that's less of my dirt. Let me go grab some more dirt. Thin that out a little bit, so it looks like it's kind of buried into the side of the cliff there on two sides. Let's see here. Have any silty, coarse, loamy? Okay, we may build some fertilized dirt, or see what we got here, farmland dirt. A lot of the odd stuff have like a specialty dirt. Yeah, I like that a little bit better. Like I say, it looks a little weird, but I think as that grass grows in, it's gonna look a lot better. Okay, so we got some dark wood here. Let me see what else kind of we got for wood. Oh, and sesame. There we go. Back, put the seeds back. All right. Mahogany. Yeah, that's kind of a. We use some of that mahogany. It's kind of a purpley looking wood. And I think this one is too. The okay. Aramith planks. Those are a purpley looking wood. That's a grayish. Great wood. One's kind of a brown orange. I think great wood. No, it's actually kind of really dark. What am I thinking of then? It's cherry. Cherry. No, that's kind of a. I guess the other thing I should look at is for some of these, I gotta look to see how many saplings we got. Hey, we got quite a few saplings. Plum. Wait, cherry saplings, redwood. Redwood. I have a lot of redwood. I have some redwood wood. I do like the color of the redwood wood. But we don't have very much. So, okay, I'm gonna go roast some redwoods. Very far from the base. Check out an earlier episode if you want to know why I'm growing away from the base, but you'll be able to watch it too while I'm doing it. All right. So another cut here, and oh, come on. There we go. And I'll be back in just a bit. All right. There we go. That is really nice about that redwood tree. It's huge, and it's a lot easier to do now that I got an angel ring. That was quite the pain climbing that before to try and get the top of that tree. So, all right, we got some redwood, and that should give us some variety in the planks there. Also would like to see, I doubt it, but let's see if we got any chisel variety as well. Change things. Oh, we do. Cool. That's nice. So we can put some crates in and do maybe some different flooring or something like that. Okay. So then if that's the case, yeah, vertical. Let's look at like maybe one of these vertical patterns. Did Yeah, did something like that for the posts. Okay, and then we'll. So he does like kind of a brick concrete retaining wall. And hey, it's future Brian coming to you in your future, talking about the past. Anyways, the audio on this is left something to be desired. So we're going to do some voiceover. And what I'm doing here is I'm looking to find some bricks to fill in the back wall of this. So, as you may have heard me talking about at the beginning of this, I'm emulating a design I seen a gentleman in Alliance, Nebraska, that grows citrus trees in these greenhouses. And in Alliance, Nebraska, it gets quite cold, like negative 40 Fahrenheit. And so he's able to build these greenhouses that are able to withstand not only those temperatures, but allow citrus trees to grow, which are typically only grown on the California and Florida. There to maintain the temperatures. You have to be fairly tropical for the United States. Probably easier in some of the more places that are closer to the equator, but typically in the United States, they're grown in California and Florida. So I hem and haw and go back and forth. The big thing is I wanted bricks, but I didn't want the vanilla texture. I don't like how it's got the weird dark brick with the lighter bricks. If it was a little bit more subtle, I think I'd be okay with it. The pattern's not bad, but the contrast is not great. So I'm out here measuring. Gonna make it 11 by I think 17 is what I decided. So make me a bunch of planks. And going with the uneven vertical pattern here. I do like that pattern. I decided at first to make them even. We'll come back to that and I'll change that a little bit, but give it just a little bit of a downward slope. Flat roofs for me are a very odd thing. We don't have any flat roofs where I'm from. Even a greenhouse, we try and put a little bit of a slope on it just because of the water and the snow and everything. So, but yeah, I sit there and debate about the length a little bit and my angel ring and then fight the leaves. So, anyways, back to this greenhouse. It's kind of one of my personal dreams is to build one of these citrus growing greenhouses. Where I am, getting good produce is actually a problem for people around here. So, and it seems to be a kind of a growing problem for a lot of communities. Is that because it's a logistics problem, and so to actually get good produce, we need to grow it more local. And so I'd like to be able to just start a little greenhouse and grow local fruits and vegetables for people at some point. Don't know when that'll happen. Someday though. And yeah, so that's kind of why I was building this greenhouse. Later it ends up, I don't use it much as a greenhouse. It ends up being for the bees, and we'll populate it and put some agendastry and a couple of other bee-related items in there. But I think that's not for another 2 episodes or so. Cleaning up the gardens here. I'm not sure what I want to do vegetable or plant-wise. These gardens are pretty handy, so I don't have to. I'm basically at 5 spots for the cost of 1. But it's also random too. So if you're not wanting all the variety, if you're just maybe looking for soybeans, that's not very helpful. So we'll figure it out. Right now, our food situation is completely under control, and I think builds for the most part are going to be what we're focusing on for the rest of this season. Some other ideas I got for 4 builds. This greenhouse was one of them, and then I'm also we're going to clean up the factory a little bit. I don't think I've done it quite yet. It'll be in the next episode. Add some windows and some new doors. I actually found some really good doors when I was building this greenhouse, and that in the style I liked. So we'll do that. And I'm looking for ideas. Anything else you guys would like to build? May build some more off the city. Build maybe a magical tower or something like that for Thaumcraft and Blood Magic and those kind of things. But I think the real focus of at least the Enigmatica series now moving forward is going to be these not creative done builds, but survival creative. Because really, I'm not hurting for resources at this point. So it's just a matter of putting it through a machine, grabbing the block I need, and then going out and building. So it's semi-creative, right? And then also, moving forward with new ideas. We'll eventually do some power generation stuff, and then we'll go forward from there. So, decided I didn't quite have enough bricks there, and I was also looking at the texture. So then we're going to look here, and we're going to look at. I debate over which style. I eventually settle on the arrayed bricks. I think that one was a pretty good choice. I was thinking also about the bigger, like stone brick pattern bricks. The biggest issue is I was trying to get away from those big brown blotches that are in the default texture. So, and these are the ones I settle on, and end up. I think I put one right there, and I'm like, yep, yeah, that's those the brownish black parts just don't work well for me. So yeah, I'm going to change them all over and then bust out the wand. I do fill it all in, and then I decide, you know what? No, let's leave some top for like a little sunlight there, and do that. So, and we're going to put in I think I'm talking about the glass roof right there. And oh, yeah, I kind of goofed. So at that point, I'm talking about the fact that greenhouses, typically when you build them, if you have a single greenhouse, you want to build it east to west. That's going to give you the most amount of sunlight. Um, but in this situation, I probably should have, with the factory and the house being on the other, I should have built it north to south. Um, so it's all good. It's Minecraft, right? Nobody's decided to put sun mechanics yet into garden growing. Would be an interesting mod. Make a little bit more realistic growing stuff, and you have to take the sun into account and how much sunlight you're getting. So, anyways, so this is get in that retaining wall, and then I decided that I need to break it up a little bit, and I still need to go back and revisit this. I kind of got all together, and that happens sometimes with my builds. I get them together, and then I don't go back and dress them up. Um, so, but I did add some supports just so that it doesn't look like that top beam is just floating there. And I get the count wrong a couple of times, and then I finally decide to build them. So, yeah. So also we got going on. I'm looking at our what's going to be our next series. So if you've been paying attention, been watching, I'm finished with it's finished as far as I'm going to get with Pyramid Reborn. I'm just not in the mood anymore for a hard grind like doing the programmer, and I know what the draconic stuff's going to take, and I'm just not. I didn't want to grind per se. So what I'm looking for right now is if you know, if you ever played like Regrowth or Forever Stranded, some of those 710 mods. That's kind of what I'm looking for. I think I may have found one. The gentleman that made Age of Engineering, or the person that made Age of Engineering, made one called Exoria, and I think that's probably what we're going to play next. I've been testing it a little bit, and I've enjoyed it so far. It's going to be pretty similar to Stone Block, but it does have a little bit more story and lore than Stone Block. So I don't know. Hopefully, you guys will enjoy it. It's another one of those flip the idea of how should a traditional Minecraft environment start. And I think it's going to be quite fun. But I'm really looking forward to. We didn't get 1.7 was the last time we got really good story mod packs, and I'm hoping in 12 we end up with some. We unfortunately didn't get any in 1.10 that I know of. There just wasn't enough time for people to write story mods, and so it would be nice to end up with something like that in 112. All right, so here I'm trying to figure out a lighting situation. I realize you can make enlightened glowstone or enlightened quite clear glass. And I also decided to change the glass to quite clear glass. And I'm fighting the machine here until I realize it's an alloy. You have to have it exactly the way it is supposed to be for the recipe. And that works out. So I go and grab some quite clear glass. And I've got my glass. I'm comparing it there, and I thought maybe the two sides are different, but I think what I was seeing there is basically it was butted up against those devices right there, and you really can't tell the difference. So I run with it, and you'll see once in the next episode you can't. It looks exactly the same. So, which is kind of nice because you get the light effect, but you don't have to. You don't have like a torch sticking out somewhere. So it's really nice for the greenhouse. Because, for like the greenhouse is always going to be well lit during the day, but during the night you want a little bit of light to keep the mobs from spawning inside of it. So, and yeah, I think I'm right here. I'm kind of looking back at it and going, yep, that's what I want. I think the glass panes are a little big, so we may break them up again. I need to go back. We still need to revisit the house and just do some detailing. I did a little bit of detailing here on the factory, but maybe you'll have an episode where I just do cleanup and detailing and make everything, just take it up a notch. So, all right. So there I decided I wanted some more light right there, and I'm going to stick it there. I kind of did them in pairs. I don't think I really needed to. But I just, for the sake of me, if anything ever, there's a mod that shows me a block. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't an eyesore. It still at least had a pattern there. So, yeah, that's about it. Gonna fill in some more glass, and then past me will be back. All right. Well, I think that's the end for this episode. Kind of a bit of a build episode. Hopefully, you enjoyed it. Um, and when I come back, I'll have this greenhouse all done. And the next episode, we'll dabble around with bees and um, bees, bees and trees. I think will be the big bulk of the next couple of episodes. So this is Grakef. Once again, I just want to say thank you. If you haven't subscribed yet, you're missing out on some awesome content. I feel. Um, and I hope you do subscribe. Hope you leave a like. Um, as always, have fun. And this is Grakef signing off.